Yes, 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 yes.
Yes, 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 yes.
Feel incredible.
It's not a cartoon. It's anime. Yeah. On the take two, still no scream in my headphones. Damn it. Welcome to another episode of Animeshun. The squad is back, man. Myself, Brennan, Ice, Rob. We're back in town, baby. We're
100%.
all here.
100%.
Finally. No more Zoom.
Bitch.
Sick of that shit.
I'm so
Bitch.
I'm so happy Ice is here.
Woo! Now that we are back, I need all three cameras when I say this too, because
Oh
we
my
back.
God.
We're back 100%, and you know what that means.
Why you
right?
gotta look at me?
You know what
this
that means, 'cause I
Literally,
know you
Look
love
him in his
people.
eyes when you say it, Ice.
I love this so much. I gotta look in the camera's eyes, but I got you. You are now watching or listening or whatever the fuck to the greatest fucking anime podcast in the entire world. And we back in this bitch. Don't you love it? Don't you love it, Brennan?
Clearly, Ice is happy. I think we love the board Ice. We love the
Yeah, Plank Ice.
Plank Ice was amazing.
Plank Ice
Ain't
was
no
Plank
plank
Ice.
ice.
He
Ain't
didn't
no
bring the
dry
same
ice.
energy. No.
It's real ice this time.
I really like Plank Ice more.
All right, man. You know what we do, man. We review anime. We talk shit with anime. We, we do our thing. We got a new type of style. We kind of do like a little PTA question style. We go
PTA, huh?
swings. PTA. I'm sorry. PTA. PTA
Not a
meeting.
dad yet, dog. Not a dad
I
yet.
know, right? We swing questions around. You know what I'm saying? We answer them. We have a little fun, man. And this week the anime that we're reviewing is actually Ice's pick,
It's my pick, you little bitch.
and he picked the anime called
How you feeling?
Parasite, man.
Huh?
I said, how you feel?
I feel fantastic.
You feel fantastic about Parasite?
I feel fantastic. I know I got a W coming my way.
Confident.
Confident.
Pick the safe one, I'm assuming.
No, it's not safe. None of my picks are safe.
Had you seen Parasite before this?
I have not. I brushed by it briefly years ago, but I never went back to it. So this is my time. Time is
Okay.
right.
All right.
I wanted because I got jealous because all y'all kept doing 20+ animes and I didn't get one. So I'm like, you know what? This is my time.
Now it's
After
time.
complaining
Now
the
it's time.
most about 20+ animes, 20+ episode animes, yeah, we can't do this anymore. I just can't stand.
'Cause every
I
20+
can't
anime was
stand
garbage.
20+ anime. That's my next pick.
Yep.
Doesn't even make any sense.
It
All
does
right, man.
make sense. If you keep doing it, I need to get mine.
You sound selfish. Anyways, Brennan, you want to give us a little factual actuals about Parasite, man?
Yeah, guys. So Parasite, like a lot of the other anime that we've watched, actually comes from a manga that was published between the years of 1988 and 1995.
Yeah.
A very, very, very popular and award-winning manga that, let me see, what awards did this win? It won the Code Dashna Manga Award in 1993, the Seiun Award for Best Manga in 1996, and as of October 2014 has 11 million copies in print.
Ooh,
so
okay.
they out here doing it.
Yeah.
And there's actually a few
numbers.
live-action films that were made off of this.
Oh,
one of them,
God.
that,
We don't care.
yeah. The funny thing is though, one of them made a lot of money. Yeah, it made. I should do the
Budget and profit. What's it looking like?
You know, I love when you ask me questions I didn't research.
This is your section,
That's
Brennan.
your job. You had one job.
I had one job. Sorry, guys. I was a little busy today. But the live action
Great
films,
excuse.
what'd you say?
It's a great excuse.
I mean, it's I
Go
was.
ahead.
That's his fallback excuse every single time. I'm busy.
Either way, there's two live action films. One of them made 11 million yen.
I'm guessing the first one and then the second one, people didn't come back.
It was the first one.
Yeah.
It was the
yeah.
first one. And so after all of that success, because, it had the manga that was successful, the movie obviously made a lot of money. They're like, why would we make this into an anime? And
Wow.
so they did that.
How many
Interesting. They
volumes was
skipped the
manga?
anime step and went straight to live action.
Yeah,
movie.
the movies came out before the live action movies came
Wow.
out before
The anime.
the
They've
anime,
done that
which
a couple
actually
times.
might serve better, to be honest. If you were to think about the logical steps of how it normally goes manga, anime, live action. So maybe if you go manga, movie, live action, manga, live action, anime, then maybe it's different.
Because that's basically what they do with books. Because books don't. It's coming. You know, when they make movies out of books, it's coming off print material.
Right.
So
Well, it makes sense, I think, because the anime normally sets the bar really, really high, right? At least with like I guess motion, I guess, right? So when you go out with a live action first, now that's your bar that the anime, I guess, has to top.
I mean, kind of smart.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. People don't have the anime to compare.
So
it
do
to.
you think? Just a quick question: do you think if the Dragon Ball movie would have came out first, would it still be a great movie?
No, I don't think so.
how many volumes was the manga?
It was I don't know. 10 volumes.
Okay.
Over 6 years.
Yes, over 6 years. 10
Wow,
volumes
really
over
took their
6
time
years.
with that.
Yeah.
Made sure they got it right.
How thick are these? How thick are these volumes?
What'd you say?
How thick are they? Like how many pages?
We just whooping your ass right now.
When have you guys ever asked me questions like this before? How many pages per manga? Like, I don't
You're
fucking
speaking
know.
about stuff like that, and we're intrigued now.
Yeah, you started this
I-
shit.
I-
What are the
really-
differences between the show and the manga?
Yeah, right? Like, can we break that down?
Did they do a couple color pages on it, or is it just all black and white?
You know, that's a really good
Brennan
question.
dropped
Ice.
the goddamn ball.
How did I drop
which
the
is,
ball?
Which just makes this even better because we love fucking with Brennan. But
And he's always the one that's on our ass about preparation. And look at you.
I was prepared for what I normally say.
No,
I
you
know
weren't.
what I was
You
gonna
even
say.
said it.
Normally,
You
y'all
even-
don't interrupt me. Just let me say my shit and we move forward.
All right,
so
all
let me
right.
finish
All right.
saying my
Say your
shit. How
shit.
about that?
excuses
How
are
about
like
you?
assholes.
It's
We all
okay.
got one. They all stink. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Come on, Mr.
Mine smells like berries. Thank you very
Come
much.
on, Mr. Busy.
All right, so the anime was directed by a guy named Kenichi Shimizu. I murdered that name. Shimizu. Haha. Kenichi Shimizu.
Got it.
I feel good about that. This guy has an interesting filmography. As a director, he hasn't done that much. But as a key animator, this dude got some real credits that you guys are about to respect.
Okay.
All right.
What's
Rob,
did I-
I'm listening up. No, I'm laughing because I'm thinking like we got to go back and just like all of Brennan, like all of the Japanese names like in a
just-
row.
yeah,
Oh,
my
God.
Going
Just a supercut?
hilarious.
Oh my god!
I personally don't think it'd be very funny. But yeah, so he was for this. He was a key animator and director on it. But he was a key animator on a lot of things that we do know. Some of the Naruto Shippuden, the Lost Tower, Naruto Blood Prison, the Marvel anime series, the Revival Project, and Chase the Missing Nuke. Lupin the Third, a woman called the Fujiko Mine. Pokemon the movie, Kurium versus the Sword of Justice, which was 2012. I've
didn't
never
watch
even heard of
that.
that. Anybody?
doing
Trigun,
stuff- he's
Badlands Rumble, Lupin the Third, The Last Job, Afro Samurai Resurrection, Street Fighter 4. You know what I'm saying?
Shit.
Wow.
Naruto, the actual TV series. He was a key animator on 2 episodes. And I'm just gonna skim by
they-
all
were they
these
fillers?
Scooby Doo ones.
Just too random.
Scooby Doo gets respect. What you talking about, man?
He actually worked on Ninja Gaiden.
Oh,
As a key
one of the
animator?
most difficult games you will ever fucking play.
Man.
Yo,
I
Ninja
loved it.
Gaiden. I beat the first one, and it took me a whole summer, and I wasn't happy.
That man,
Yeah, it's fun.
y'all
I
think,
felt like-
y'all this was
Oh, you want
Dark
one on-
Souls before Dark Souls. Huh?
This is the Sega Genesis one, or this is the?
I had it
PlayStation?
on-
What the fuck is a Sega Genesis?
It was on. I think the original Ninja
It's on
Gaiden was on
Sega
Sega
Genesis, yeah.
Genesis.
I just don't know what that is.
It's a game system.
He knows what Sega Genesis.
Yeah, I'm
is.
just.
I was gonna say, come on, man,
just
you're
fucking
younger
with
than
you.
us,
You're
but not
younger
that
than us,
much.
but you're not
younger.
that
I know what a
much
Yeah, I'm
Sega
just fucking
Genesis
with
is.
you. I'm talking about the Xbox one.
Oh,
That's the
I
one
never
I'm
played it.
talking
No,
on
I played it
Xbox.
on the Xbox. Too.
Yeah,
on
that's the
Xbox.
difficult one I was talking about.
No, it was extremely difficult.
Yeah,
I
that
fully
shit
agree
was
with
like-
you.
Okay.
But yeah, he actually has 2 director credits on IMDb. One of them being Parasite the Maxim, which is what we're watching, and the other actually being something called Avengers Confidential, Black Widow and the Punisher. That had a whopping 5.5 out of 10 on IMDb rating.
Damn.
And I watched the
I
trailer.
don't go off those ratings.
I watched the trailer, bro. I did the Keenan and watched the trailer. Wasn't feeling it. Gonna keep it real.
Interesting.
Wow,
Yeah.
them
Seems
two
like
they're good characters too.
Yeah,
on
seems like an
animated wise,
interesting
anyway.
matchup. Yeah,
Were
Black
they
Widow
versing
versus
each other?
It did. That's actually the messed up part about the trailer is I watched it. And I didn't know what the hell I just saw. Like they were like, because they were like, "Yo, voice actor by this person for Black Widow, voice actor for this person by the Punisher." Like whoever they were,
Yeah.
they were just talking about who was on it. Like there was like it was just very
Were they
little
big names at least?
I didn't know the names. That doesn't
You go
mean
hit me
anything.
with a voice
though.
actor, and they're not even somebody we know like that. It's ridiculous.
But yeah, it was really weird because I
mean,
was doing
so
my
then-
research.
So then, okay, I ask you guys, if you do you take a chance on him as a director coming off of that? Like if your money had to be going into it, would y'all take a chance on him? With him being a key animator on all of these, but a shit director.
A lot of
in that
that.
one.
A lot of that for me would be.
None of us saw it, so I can't say he's a shit director.
Well, say it's shit for say it was just fucking. It earned 5.5 was being nice.
Well, I feel like Marvel's such a big entity that they have control over their shit. So it's like we want things directed the way we want them directed. We just have you as a name directing the shit. So I think with maybe Parasyte, maybe he got more freedom to do what he does as an animator. As a director. But I feel like when it comes to Marvel, when they pick directors for anything, whether it's the regular movies, it's kind of like you get a little bit of freedom, but it needs to go like this.
I
feel
fully
like
disagree.
I feel like Ryan Coogler really did something on
I
Black Panther.
understand
That's what
where
they
you're-
literally said. If you don't follow what they do, they'll kick you off.
I
don't
disagree with you
understand
though,
how-
because if you look at like Captain America 1 versus The Winter Soldier, both Marvel movies, and a completely different vibe.
Two different movies.
Yeah.
Two different
I
directors.
fell asleep on the first Captain
The first
America.
Captain
It was
America
horrible.
isn't as bad as I
bad.
watched it again recently. It's not as horrible as I remember
It's just
it being.
boring.
But it's not good.
It's made better by the other two Captain America
I fully agree with that.
Yeah.
And the
I-
second Captain America movie is easily for me top 3 best Marvel movie ever.
Yeah, yeah.
That doesn't mean that Marvel didn't say turn up on this.
Okay, so what's happening right now is
Killer
Cameron
Cam-
couldn't help himself, our tech man.
Killer-
He said
Killer
that Keenan's
Cam.
right, that Marvel already has a plan for the directors. But the thing is,
Yeah.
like,
I feel like-
80% of a plan is not a full plan. And I completely understand that. I get that, that they're like, look, we already have the script writing from a writer we want to work with. We already have the vibe. Here's the color palette. Here's the vibe. But there's still so
There's some
much you can
things,
play with
yeah.
that within that with a director. Because if
Absolutely.
you had no control, the only reason you're showing up as a director is just to make money, which you could do that
Yes.
for the Marvel movies. But the thing is, you can see a stark difference. Like if you look at the first 2 Thor movies and look at Ragnarok,
I don't
it's
think
a
that
stark
means anything,
difference.
though. Because it's a stark difference. They have a plan. Marvel has a plan of how they want their universe to go. So
But
I think
who
that's
is-
how it's all set. It's
But
like
who is
literally
also
5
Marvel?
years.
You got people writing that's directing. Like Ryan Coogler helped write Black Panther.
I think that
But
was.
you know, hold up. But you know what's crazy? This anime was produced by Madhouse.
I mean,
That means nothing to you.
No, I know what I
No,
mean.
I'm sorry.
yeah.
Nothing?
I'm sure we've heard of it
I
before.
mean, Madhouse.
I've definitely brought
Madhouse
up-
is the dog.
Yeah, I've definitely
yeah,
brought up Madhouse
Madhouse,
before.
yeah.
They
Madhouse
did.
is one of the goats.
Yeah, they're one of the greatest. They did Ninja Scroll. They did Perfect Blue. They did Trigun.
Great movie.
They did Death Note. They did Paprika. They did obviously.
Oh, that's
they
right.
Did, they did the
Madhouse
first
is a
season.
beast.
Yeah.
They did the first
They
season
got
of One
some
Punch
L's,
Man.
too.
Yeah.
Huh?
Definitely got some L's.
Oh yeah, I read past the L's.
Just skipped right over those.
Yeah, I'm just like,
Appreciate you.
I don't know
but
what
if
this
you,
is.
just like
Punisher,
Marvel,
Black
if you're gonna
Widow,
be this big entity,
Confidential.
you're gonna have a couple L's.
You
Like,
have to.
You're gonna have the Fantastic. Well, I mean, I guess that doesn't. But the Fantastic Four movies and the first
Silver
Hulk
Surfer wasn't
movie-
that bad.
Yeah, and the Hulk movie and
Oh,
stuff.
Silver Surfer
Galactus
was
was a
pretty bad.
fucking joke, and I will never forgive them for that.
For what?
For Galactus.
I never even
they-
saw
I will
it.
I'll never forgive
I will-
him when they fucking pull up in they got the vehicle that pulls up and they're just like, is there a Hemi in that? And he goes, you know it. And it's got the fucking Toyota logo right on the fucking ship.
is that
It's
from?
so stupid. Fantastic Four and the Silver Surfer.
Yeah. It's like, how's it gonna have a Hemi?
They have the Toyota Ram on the headrests in their superhero car.
It's got a Hemi.
It's ridiculous.
No, it's
They must have
bullshit.
paid top dollar to be.
Oh yeah, it's like some of the most blatant product placement I've ever seen in my entire
That
life.
is
Wow.
hysterical.
And on top of that, I will never forgive them for fucking Galactus. I just
There you
want
go.
to say that.
All right, well that ends my review section of all
was-
the stuff I learned.
That was probably
Okay,
the worst
right.
one ever.
Next-
The
yeah,
worst,
I'm-
best one you ever had.
Thank you
I'm
so
sure
much,
he'll
Ice. I
probably be a
appreciate
lot more
your opinion
prepared when
that I
we
didn't
ask
ask
him
for.
questions the next time for some of this stuff. Rob, also real quick, Rob, a lot of people have been hitting me up personally. I don't know about everybody else, but they've been hitting me up personally for you for your next pick to be Death Note. They keep putting the pressure on me to be like, he needs to watch Death Note. And I think Rob, that's his shit.
It's on my list. It's I've been strongly considering it. The only reason I've been like maybe not is because I know all of you guys have seen it, right?
I loved it.
I would definitely watch Death Note again.
Definitely watch
Okay,
it.
no, I'm about it.
Yeah.
For sure.
So we're gonna swing it over to Rob
Not saying
now.
100%, but a strong consider.
Okay, yeah. Rob's he's not gonna pick this shit.
I decided.
I already know Rob.
Sailor Moon, season 1.
Rob is the king of left turns. Hey, this is a great anime. Something 2000.
Did you say
So-
Sailor Moon
I
season
will.
1?
Oh, Rob, fuck you. If you think
I
Sailor
would
Moon
quit
season
the
1,
podcast. He's like, in my
said,
next pick,
"Oh, man, fuck
Inuyasha.
you."
It's gonna be just me and Ice. Maybe I don't know.
I mean, we can. You know what? Somebody said this the other day, and I always try to be nice to like people that's like in the anime or think they're in the anime, and they come approach me because I don't want to be that guy that Keenan always talks about. What are you talking
Yeah.
about? But the dude was like, "Hey, man, you love anime?" I'm like, "Yeah, I have. I'm on a podcast." He's like, "Well, what's your favorite moon?" And I'm like, "I don't fucking know." Like
The moon.
What he was referencing Sailor Moon. Like, I guess what are their powers or something?
But they're not moons; they're planets.
Whatever it is, he was like, "What do you feel about this moon?" I'm like, "Bro, I don't know." He's like, "What about this moon?" I'm like, "I don't know." He's like, "Do you even watch anime?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I do." Like, I just gotta watch no weak ass fucking Sailor Moon.
I get 100% is one of those animes that I think either you fuck with heavy, especially as a guy, it might be a little bit different because it's more like I think an introduction to a lot of women, their anime or that of Inuyasha or whatever. But Inuyasha, whatever. It's Inutrasha. It doesn't matter. So it's like it's one of those animes that I think people are either here or there with. So yeah, but anyways, Rob, we're gonna throw it to you, man. Give us a summary.
So I'll take us through the episodes. Try to get through it real quick. First episode, after we see a person get their whole head eaten off by some kind of human morphing monster thing, we meet our protagonist, Shinichi, mild-mannered high school student, and at night he has an encounter with some sort of alien being that burrows itself into his hand. And at first he thinks the whole thing is just a nightmare until his hand starts acting on its own.
I just want to point out one thing: it tried to go in his ear, but he had headphones in while he sleeps.
True. But his hand just starts totally acting on its own. He grabs the boob of his crush, this girl named Murano. He's just scrolling on his phone in class, but not controlling it. But the most definitive what the fuck moment is when his hand stops a whole car from hitting a kid in a crosswalk.
So
and
dope. I love
Shinichi sees an eye looking back at him. So he's like, all right, something's up. He goes back home and he tries to communicate with the creature and finds out that strong and smart as fuck. It quickly learns how to speak fluent Japanese and is able to break a blade that he tries to stab it with and just like narrowly misses his head with it. Unfortunately, the creature doesn't have any more info on who or what it is and is almost as confused as Shinichi about what is going on. What he does know is that he depends on Shinichi to stay alive. He feeds off the nutrients in his blood and will die if they're separated. So in other words, he's a parasite. Originally, he tried to take over his brain, but Shinichi stopped him from reaching it, so instead he settled on the hand. So when the thing is awake, it controls the hand, but when he goes to sleep, he gives the control back to Shinichi. Around the city, we start to see what happens when they do get in the brain. Other creatures start taking over human hosts and just leave murders and gore behind. It's pretty nuts. And Shinichi's about to go to the police about the whole thing when the creature senses another of his kind nearby. They follow it to a nearby alleyway where they find a corgi mid-meal on a much larger dog, and things go south quick. The parasite dog morphs into a monster and attacks Shinichi, but his parasite is able to find a weakness and quickly kills it by taking the heart out.
Easy work.
Hold on real quick. Did everybody watch this sub?
I watched it subbed. Yeah.
I watched it, subbed.
Yeah, I watched it dubbed.
Oh, my fucking
Keenan,
joke.
man.
What a joke.
But so after he gets the kill, Shinichi finds out basically how cold and calculating this thing is and only cares about one thing, and it's its own survival. The next episode starts off with a good Samaritan, it seems like, stopping a mugging in progress, but it soon becomes clear that he's a parasite just saving the victim to make a meal of her for himself. But when he's confronted by the guys that he beat up, he's just like, all right, well, I got to take out everybody. Just kills them all in like a single swipe. And we find out that these parasites can change their host's appearance, or at least this one can. At school, Shinichi and his newly named parasite Migi that's the name that the parasite has chosen for itself. I think Japanese for right hand, maybe. They're dealing with the troubles of high school, showing off in gym class, asking girls on dates, fighting bullies, masturbating at the urinal, the usual stuff. However, not all is well. Word about the grisly murders are spreading, now called the mincemeat murders. Shinichi starts to feel guilty, knowing that he knows what's happening, but isn't doing anything about it. Migi says what his kind is doing is natural. They're only eating one kind of food, whereas humans eat almost everything. So who's really the bigger monster?
Yes.
Migi drives home the point by threatening that he needs Shinichi to stay alive, but not whole. He will blind and deafen him if it means furthering Migi's survival. Later on in the street, Migi detects another parasite and suggests running, but Shinichi wants to confront it and stop it from murdering more people. And when it arrives, it tries to convince Migi to join him, to join his host body so the two can combine and become more powerful. Shinichi worries Migi will take him up on the offer, but in the end, Migi decides to protect him. He claims it's only that he did it because he didn't know if the transfer would actually work, but Shinichi seems to hold out hope that maybe he's valuing his life over others. I don't think so.
No.
The next day on his date with Murano, Shinichi starts to show how much he's changing personally by, standing up to some bullies that are torturing a cat and scaring them off. When they try to come back at him, he just turns around and tells them, "I will eat you alive." It scores him big points with Murano too. The two of them will go home holding hands.
protector.
Elsewhere, two parasites in human forms are sharing a more carnal romantic moment. We just see them nude in the moonlight. The next episode, that same woman that we just saw is on the subway and beats the shit out of a dude who was groping her on the train. But she's on her way to her new job, which is a math teacher at Shinichi's school, and she's posing as this woman named Ryoko. Migi wants to play it cool, but Shinichi accidentally makes eye contact with her, and she knows exactly who he is, and she knows that he knows, and she knows that he knows that he knows that she knows.
Well done. Well said.
Yeah. So the students are all fawning over Ryoko, but Shinichi is worried when she's like, "Hey, why don't you stay after class and talk to me after school?" And at first, Ryoko just assures him that he and his classmates are safe for now. She's trying to keep, her circle safe. So as long as he keeps his mouth shut, everybody will be fine. But she's curious about his case since he and Migi are sharing one body, and invite him to meet up with a third parasite at a coffee shop later on. A guy named Mr. A, the other guy who we saw. Yeah, he's not holding it together well. But this is the other guy who she was with. He's much less friendly, and she explains that she and Mr. A did an experiment where they had sex to see what would happen. And it turns out she became pregnant with a 100% human child. And they all kind of wonder what that means. What does that make them? Does that make them human? Even these other two parasites don't know what they are. Shinichi says there's no more need for human murder since Migi can survive without it, just surviving off his nutrients. But Mr. A gets annoyed with that and leaves, saying he does what he wants when he wants to. He proves that the next day by attacking Shinichi's school in an attempt to find him and eliminate him and Migi. Ryoko hides during the attack to see how the events unfold as the students evacuate. And Migi wants to use the other students as a meat shield, but Shinichi breaks away from them, telling Murano to stay away.
Which was
Yeah.
there's a lot of people here.
he breaks away from him to confront Mr. A alone. He and Migi barricade themselves in a hallway to come up with a battle plan to fight this guy, how they're going to fight together. And just as he crashes through a window, and that takes us to the last episode, where in the fight, Migi plays defense and creates an opening for Shinichi to land a mortal blow, stabbing this dude with like a desk leg. And he just wanders off, wounded, can't believe he's been, hurt by murderers. Migi tells him, we got to finish this job, but Shinichi doesn't want to be a murderer. Mr. A is looking for Ryoko, hoping they can merge, but when he finds her, she just explodes him. So she's clearly just as cold and as calculating.
Jumps out
as
a
the rest.
window.
Yeah. Life soon returns to normal for everybody, but Ryoko is soon fired from her job as a teacher when she tells the school board she's pregnant and unmarried. Without the job, Ryoko says her identity is dead and warns Shinichi that he and his friends are no longer safe. Shinichi protests that there must be another way, but Ryoko explains that eating humans is just her pure nature. There's no getting around it. It's her drive. He tries to appeal to her possible humanity by asking about the baby, but she just says she just plans to experiment on it and then later eat it if those end up being a failure. She moves to attack, and Migi notices she's super strong, but at the last second she holds back, deciding that she's more interested to see in how their bond progresses. And progress it does. The next morning, Migi shows off that he can now detach from Shinichi for 3 minutes at a time and is able to make more complex shapes, even morphing into a gun at one point. However, a few close calls with Shinichi's mom starts to make things tense at home.
Because it looked like he was jacking off.
Yeah. Shinichi demands privacy and tells his parents that they shouldn't go on a planned vacation for their own safety, but then later backtracks when Migi explains that they might be safer from the murder on the countryside. His mom is protective and suspicious, but his dad reasons he's just getting older and will start acting out more by nature. He's not a kid anymore. In the end, Shinichi apologizes and his parents decide to take the vacation, leaving Shinichi at home alone with Migi while Ryoko watches over the city, feeling her baby moving inside of her. And those were the first 4 episodes of Parasyte.
All right, man.
All right.
Well done,
That's
Rob.
a Rob.
Let's talk
What,
about
no questions, huh? No questions for Rob, huh, guys?
No, not at all, because he
was
did his
feeding
job.
so fast through it.
Yeah.
Even when I was going to try to say something or I was kind of like chiming a little bit, he just ran over me. It didn't.
I can't hear so well, so I'm just like, I
that's
can't listen to it or I'll get, I'll stutter up on what I'm
Stop
saying.
being a bitch.
That's
brother.
how it is when
Anyways,
you do your job.
Damn.
Great job,
All
Rob.
of you are ugly. Just wanna throw it out there. Good thing this is a podcast.
Yeah, right.
So
It's a visual,
one
too.
of the first questions I want to ask, since this is what it is, what the show is called. Have you ever been infected by a parasite before, Brendan?
This is a question I wrote. And this, I have a. Oh wait, we gotta start the timer for
Oh
this.
yeah, let's start the timer up.
You've been fucking up.
Damn.
What are you talking about? You jumped into that so quick.
You should have had it ready to go.
You knew questions
I'm
were
trying to
next.
get it charged. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like
That's
Charge
no
has nothing to
excuse.
do with
you
it. when
guys
it's
having
on the-
fun? Like, is it
Oh
fun
my
to pile on Brennan
God,
today?
man.
All right, here we go.
prepared.
So I actually have had a parasite before. It was called amoebiostasis. While I was in Cambodia, I partook in some Cambodian traditions and drinking like things I probably shouldn't have. Out in the countryside when I was really trying to become like.
The fuck was
be a
you
part of it.
drinking?
It was like palm wine, is what I think it came from. But it was like straight from the tree. So
snap, yeah.
it was not a good. I did not make good choices because I was just like, I'm good, like I'm young, I'm whatever. But yeah, I remember like I was out there in the countryside. I came back, I started feeling a little sick, and then I got a really really heavy fever that one night, and I don't really remember it that well. I just remember I actually called Tony Valentino, my business partner, while he was in the United States. I was in Cambodia. I called him sitting on the floor of the shower with like cold water running on top of me. Like, yeah, man, like I don't know if I should let my roommate know or not, because I think I could maybe go to the hospital or something. He was like, "You idiot! Yes, go to the
You're in a
hospital."
foreign country, bro.
Right.
Yeah, so we went to like this ISS hospital, is what it was, International Hospital, and they told me that I would have died if I hadn't come there within like 24 hours.
Oh wow!
But the crazy thing is
Right.
no, the crazy thing is like when you go to the hospital or to the doctor and you have a very serious problem, what would be the best case scenario of what they could do to make you feel better? Because this is exactly what happened. They said, here's an IV, you're dehydrated, take this one pill, in 1 hour, you will be 100%. 1 hour later, I was 100% better.
Damn.
Wow.
It killed all of it in 1 hour, and they said, you'll never have a problem with this again. Have a
So
good day.
for it to be that deadly and lethal to kill you in a day,
Yeah.
The-
It was going to
the-
kill
the
me
cure-
of dehydration.
That's a Superman.
of
That's a
dehydration. Okay.
Superman ass.
yeah. They just
Parasite.
they gave me one pill. Yeah, it kills you of dehydration because I was just like pooing out everything.
oh, so that I mean that means
Did they show you the parasite or did it just?
No, it's a single cell organism, so you can't see it.
Oh, that's even
so
scarier.
it's like it's an amoeba, amoebiostasis.
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
Oh,
You
okay.
said that.
Microscopic. That is terrifying.
Yeah.
Rob,
Good times, guys.
What
Any
about
of you?
What about you, Rob?
I don't think I've ever had a parasite personally. Not that I can think of. I haven't been to Cambodia. Haven't drunk any palm wine.
It's fun. I recommend it.
I don't know. After that story,
no.
the one thing I can kind of relate is I remember one time I was dog sitting somebody's dogs, and the like friendly dog rolled over on its stomach, was like, "Yeah, give me belly pets," and I'm just like, "Oh, you got some like bumps on you. Let me see that." And it was just a bunch of ticks, like all down in a row. It was like, snap. So
That
we
is sick.
had to pick those off. That was not a fun day. That's really my closest parasite experience.
Wow.
Something like that.
I mean, I've had ticks too.
You had ticks on you?
You had ticks on you?
yeah.
I mean, you travel a lot, bro.
That's what I'm
You do,
saying. I
yeah.
travel a lot. I spend a lot of time outdoors.
If you're out in the
Yeah.
tall grass, you
Yeah.
might.
I knew when
There's a
Brennan
chance.
wrote this, he had to have had one because he travels so much, and I'm just so happy for myself. Like I look at that Brennan, I was like, I'll probably ask if I'm going anywhere. I'm going to be like, Brennan, have you been here before? Cool. I'm going to ask him some questions. Yes, no, all right, cool. We go from there. I mean, me personally, I never had one. I'm glad too. About you guys?
No, I had no. None
You
at
had an
all.
infection,
Stomach poison. That's it.
food poisoning.
Yeah.
Cholera.
Yes, yeah.
Well, I mean,
food
I could
poison.
tell y'all another story. If you
Yeah, I
guys-
mean,
we
I
still
got
a minute
infection
left.
stories, but
Yeah,
no like
yeah.
parasite
I mean,
stories.
what are you trying to say? You know,
About what?
infections.
Huh?
What?
What's happening right now?
I have no idea.
And you know we don't have to use the whole time, but if you got a quick story, wrap it up. Go.
No, I was just gonna say because of the tick thing. It's like when I was a kid, my grandparents they still have a farm in Virginia, and I remember we were out running around and playing, and we were running through the woods doing our thing, and we came back, and I had a bunch of like ticks and stuff like on my ankles, on both my feet. It was like something. They were like little red things, but they all just attached themselves to me, and I didn't even notice.
Oh my
so I
God.
came inside. And it was like time to take a bath or whatever, and I was just like pull off like my socks, and I was like, ah! Like screamed or whatever. And then my grandma got so mad at me. She's like, "How could you not notice this?" I'm like, "I was having fun. I don't know, you know."
Oh my god, that would freak me out.
But yeah, it was crazy because like what they had to do, like we couldn't. They were too small to pick off, so we had to put my feet in like really hot water,
made 'em
and then put it in really cold water, and then really hot water. So just going back and forth. They all just died and fell off.
Wow.
Oh God.
Damn.
Good times, guys.
I
Like,
got. I mean,
home
over
remedies.
quarantine, I got bit by a spider. That shit was fucking wicked.
where?
On my back of my leg. I thought it was a mosquito bite. I just put alcohol on it. Then I went to sleep and woke up the next day. My leg was fucking fat as fuck. And then I had to go to the the hospital and take like pills and stuff. Had to take antibiotics, and he said that I would have had a fever. Like I said, what was the worst would have happened if I didn't come here? He said you would have had a fever, you would have broke the fever, and your leg would have like busted open, and all you would have been good after that. But I'm like, fuck, man, I would have went to the hospital. Like I said, this is COVID time, so I'm like,
Damn.
oh shit, I might have.
I
thought
got
I
the
had
vid.
COVID.
And we're
I got
moving
the
on.
COVID. All right, next question, man. So since she's mom didn't allow like a lot of privacy, she popped up on his ass. So what do you think, man? Are you popping up on your kids like that? You just walking in their room or something like that? What about you? Like, you got a son, Ice. So what do you do?
Yeah,
with your kids?
I saw this funny meme where it was like a picture of Thanos looking, and it was all like, "This is me when I have a kid popping into my room, like he's just looking at his kid and just mugging him for no reason." I do that all the time. That's why I started dying. Like over quarantine, I had my son the whole quarantine damn near, and I would go in the room and I just look at him. He'd look at me. He'd be like, "What?" I'm like. And I just walk out the room like so many times. But I think at this age,
How old is he?
he's 10 right now.
Okay.
So at this age, I'll do it. I think when he gets older, I'll probably chill out on it. But like right now as a kid, I'm definitely popping in on it. Because like, what the fuck you doing? Because sometimes I can hear him, but if you get quiet, that's the thing about like parenting. If like your kids get quiet, it's like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Because especially my kid, like he loud as shit. Like he just be, because he have his headphones in when he play his game. So he's loud. So if he's quiet, I'm like, oh nah, something up. So I come in there like, what the fuck you doing?
That's smart.
What about you, Rob?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like Ice does. I feel like up to a certain age, like, yeah, that's totally permissible. Like, especially like, yeah, like if they get quiet, what are you up to in there? Like, what are you looking at?
Right.
But yeah, I mean, you start to get into like, I don't know, later high school age, like you start busting in on your kid, like you're might see some shit you can't unsee. Like,
Yeah,
it might get
man.
kind of tough. So I think maybe for my own self, I might start knocking when I get to a certain age.
Absolutely.
Especially good to just establish boundaries and some privacy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did your parents knock for you?
No, not that I remember. No,
They
not
just
at all.
came in?
Yeah, as far as I can remember.
Did they ever come on you doing something?
No,
weird?
luckily, I never.
I
No.
got caught so many times.
Yeah, really?
Yeah?
Oh,
I've never
man.
got caught.
You got called jacking off by
Oh
your
my
parents?
God, yeah.
Really?
Definitely.
You're
My mom-
terrible.
Yeah.
Why are you jacking off during the day?
Yeah.
No, it'd be like at night. Like my mom didn't give a shit.
And you jacking off without the cover on you?
I had the cover on me. They didn't see it. Like they didn't see it, but they knew what was happening. You know what I'm saying? Like,
They could put it
Cam
together.
was so over. You should have saw his face right now. I was like, what the fuck?
Bro, if that's me, I'm always turning away from the door area.
no, so like, no, say it was covered and stuff like that. But I've turned away and all those things. But it's pretty obvious.
What's going on?
Yeah, what's going on? I'm like in the corner. Of this,
Get out my room, mom.
Yeah, 'cause
That's
my mom
crazy.
didn't care, so she just be like, even after she caught me the first time, she would just be like, "Hey, Brennan, what's it?" I just walk in the
she's
room, and
trying
I'm
to
just
get
like,
you at that
so
point.
it became a thing that she figured out, like it became so like unnecessarily common that at some point, like she'd come in, I would just like, cause I had the cover, and I would just be like, "Mom," and then she'd be like, "Oh, okay," and then walk out.
She must
That's
have been
true.
like Ice, just like he's too quiet there. He's
Right.
probably getting up some shit.
It probably was that. I was the troublemaker in my family for sure.
It's funny, like if that in that particular situation with Brennan, if that's me, like at a certain point in time, my dad, you know, he wasn't trying to catch me jacking off, but I was just like, I made sure I just set appointments. All right, 1 a.m. Set my alarm. Ain't nobody gonna be up at 1 a.m. to try to bust in there and catch me.
Yeah, that's fair.
But other than that, like me personally, I think I'm going to be. I pay the rent. I'm coming in whatever
Yes.
room whenever I want to.
Yes.
That's how, especially with
Yes.
black parents, I pay the rent. Why is your door closed in the first place?
This is my door. This isn't your door. This is my door.
My dad didn't allow the door closed in the house really until like we became teenagers. But other than that, he was like, "Why's your door closed for?" I just wanted to. Ain't no privacy in here, man. If you start paying rent, you can't get no privacy.
But do you feel like that might
more
cause some
closed
type
doors.
of like,
Drama or whatever.
yeah, or not like anxiety, like growing up instilled anxiety in the kid because it's like fuck, like I don't like I
Somebody
feel,
could bust in at any time.
like, because you always busting in on your kid.
Well,
then it's
Then you
like
shouldn't be doing anything. You shouldn't
the
have
reason-
other people seeing it in the first place.
That's why my door was always open, so there was never a busting. It was always like you walk by, my dad can just look in there or whatever. So my door was always open. But when we were closing, he would bust in there. Yeah, I would like it was like, oh, I'll be startled, but I
Yeah.
made sure I was never like doing something like that during times where we were up.
Yeah.
So I mean that's why I wasn't tripping. But I'm going to be that dad being like don't close your door in here. Like
Oh, I
Yeah.
1,000% agree.
There's no
This is
reason-
a
I
dictatorship,
honestly
not a
can't see
democracy.
neither one of y'all doing that. Maybe
what?
I can see Keenan a little bit, but I can't see you.
why
being,
does your door need to be closed?
You couldn't see me.
I
busting
couldn't
in the
see
room?
you. I can see
Oh,
Keenan
man.
because just how he
Like-
go about certain things, but I can't see Brendan doing it. I just think like you're just like what's up, man? What you doing? Like, hey, I don't think you're gonna be like, what the fuck, kid? Like, I just don't see it.
I mean, it's a good point. Why do you have your door closed? I can't think of a single thing that a kid might be up to.
Yeah, there's literally nothing you should be
He
doing.
might be building you
that
a
should be
Father's
hiding
Day
from.
present.
Yeah.
Well,
Good point.
congratulations. Thank you. You should have, maybe you
Ruined
should have worked with your
Father's
mom
Day.
on this so she could close the door. Maybe you work with mom or whoever on this so y'all can together say, you stay out. I'm like, well, I know he or she is with an adult, so we're good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Or, okay,
Otherwise-
that's a different. Are you busting in on a daughter like you are on your
Oh,
son?
that's it. No more questions. Moving on.
Moving on.
I mean, first of all, when the alarm goes off, that means wrap it up. That doesn't mean stop dead in your
No,
tracks.
that means stop.
that
in
means
your
no.
tracks.
the
it does
alarm
mean-
is God.
The alarm is God. It means stop. Move on.
That is trash. So wrap it up. That's what it because it
Well,
doesn't. If
move
you
it
got
on,
a point,
Keenan.
All right, shut your punk ass up.
The alarm is spoken.
Next question. So in here in this anime, he had an option to either get rid of his right arm, and the other dude was somebody else is going to take it, and he can actually get rid of the parasite at that point. My question for you guys is: would you do that? If you had that option, would you have got rid of your right arm? Me personally, at that point, yes.
Yeah.
Afterwards, as this motherfucker doing all this cool shit, I'm like, oh man, I'm about to keep you.
Yeah.
But beforehand, I'm like, wait, this thing got a mouth? Let me try something real quick.
Oh,
Yo, it does.
Yo.
So y'all sitting here telling me. Y'all sitting there telling me if now you was already jacking off as a kid. I was like, shut the fuck up, Brennan. So you sitting there
different. You're
if
talking
your
about
hand-
a parasite.
if your
getting
hand has a
you.
mouth-
No.
No.
It's still attached to you.
No. Look
You
at
gonna do
Cameron.
that? You know what's
Look
gonna
at
happen?
Cameron.
You know what's gonna happen? You gonna do that, and then you gonna start feeling something in your tongue, in your tongue. You be like, "What the
Do
fuck
you
is
see
that?"
how
I'm tasting?
sharp that thing's claws are?
Let me tell you something, bro. It don't gotta use teeth. All I'm saying is,
Oh, my God.
is that I feel at that point I
are
probably
sick.
would have stayed a virgin even longer if that's
Just
the
for the
case.
record, y'all,
What?
Keenan wrote this question so he could say that.
No, I didn't.
I like to point it out. This is his question.
giving himself
that
his
he wrote. He wanted to
goddamn
let everybody know
Marilyn Manson ass.
a parasite.
I would
can
never
get
do
it.
what Marilyn Manson tried to. It did.
I mean, listen, I was just as appalled as you guys, and then I started thinking about the episodes, and there's one moment where that parasite just like, let me see if I can get this sex organ hard right now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
broad daylight, there's a dude, another urinal, like right over there.
he did it in public at school.
I'm not
he
saying
didn't
I would,
know
I
any
mean,
better.
I'm with Shinichi, like, now's not, no. But, I mean,
Put
hey,
yourself in your.
Wait,
Parasite was
hold on.
willing, apparently.
Hold on, guys. I need a moment here. Rob,
yeah.
are you agreeing with Keenan right now?
Put yourself as teenage
No,
Rob.
let him answer the question. Let him answer the
Put yourself as
question.
teenage Rob. Not right now. Teenage Rob.
Rob, are you saying that you would?
You would give yourself a hand
Hold on.
blowjob?
Let him say it. Let him say it.
I would consider it.
Oh my God!
Thank you, Rob. You know why?
God.
Rob is looking at himself as a teenager,
That is
and
sick.
teenagers are just horn dogs.
No
Out the
way.
He's
gate,
not
you're a
wrong.
I'm
horn
not
dog.
doing. I was.
Not wrong.
I would never do that. I told y'all last week how
No.
active I
You
got.
was
how
smashing
early-
at 3, man.
But I'm just saying.
So you was getting it in early.
So no, that's fucking That's no.
I don't disagree
That's,
with you. It is
that's
nasty.
on the same level as Marilyn Manson.
No, it's
Rob's
not.
face
It
right
is.
now,
For
though,
y'all
Rob's
did
over-
not know, Marilyn Manson took out ribs, or I don't know if he actually did
Oh,
it.
that's the
rumor.
But
alleged
the rumor is he
rumor.
took out ribs so he can give himself a blowjob. Like
That
that's
is not the same thing.
That's the exact same thing.
That's
No,
not-
that's very different.
This hand right here is not your mouth.
that is. It's connected to you.
If
So
you
wait,
go,
hold on a second. Your logic right now makes literally no sense.
It does.
No, it doesn't because that's making it sound like first of all, it's not your mouth because it ate your hand.
But
no, I'm
it's
just saying
attached to you.
Yeah, but it's not yours. It can detach from you too.
But especially at that point, he didn't know
But
that.
we're just talking about in generality.
no,
if you would allow
y'all,
this to happen.
before he didn't know that. It's a part of your.
Everybody-
like, you have,
Hey,
you
this
gave
is
a
a
bad
mouth-
you gave a bad example, like.
If this
No,
is-
it's
if this
not.
is your
If
first time-
it's a blowjob. A blowjob is a blowjob.
If this is
It's
your
a-
first time listening to our podcast, this is what we call the ice zone, where we really find a space where ice just says logic does not matter.
That does.
And he
If
argues
somebody
super
without
strongly
ribs
to something that
if
doesn't
if
matter.
you're trying to take ribs out to give yourself a blowjob, and you have a hand with the mouth to try to give yourself a blowjob, that's the
That's
same
your
shit.
own mouth. This is not your own
That's
mouth.
the same shit. It's
No, it's
connected
not.
to you.
do you agree with me, Cameron? Like Cameron's
That's
over
the
here
same
dying.
shit.
Thank you. Can I answer the question?
Go ahead and answer the question.
I don't think I would have gotten rid of the parasite simply because now I don't have an arm, and the parasite does give me an arm. That's the most base level way that I look at that.
I forgot
want an
this
arm.
was the question. Fuck.
Yeah. So I wouldn't get rid of I probably wouldn't get rid of the parasite, as well as I find the parasite to be a very interesting, logical creature that inherently wants to keep me alive and is protecting me from these other parasites that I now have to defend myself from because of the arm. But at the same time, after I saw what it did to that dog, I'd be like, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm good.
You got to think. All right. Anybody else? No.
Fuck this question because y'all full of shit and y'all weird for having to give yourself.
Would you get rid of the
blowjob.
parasite, Ice?
No, I wouldn't. I'd
Why?
Keep it. Not to fucking give myself a blowjob.
I agree, but why else?
Why? Yeah.
Just because I got a defense mechanism. Excuse me.
But it also brings danger into your life.
Yeah.
That's fine. I could rather, just like a gun, rather be caught
feel-
with it than without it.
Okay, so you feel safer with that thing as your defense once you see what it does, pretty much.
100%. Even
got that?
before.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong because even if you get rid of it, there's still all those other
there.
parasites
That doesn't
still
change
out
anything.
there.
Yeah.
That doesn't make you, immune to other parasites.
I think I'm kind of traumatized by what Keenan and Rob said.
That's fucking sick.
I'm really trying to
I'm
let
not
it go.
disagreeing. I'm not saying it's not
you guys
fucked
are
up.
fucking sick. Even young me wouldn't want to do that.
You know what? The fun part is all I can think about is Rob. You're like, I'm engaged. That's all. I don't know why either.
Hey, he wasn't. I'm not talking about Kurt me.
15-year-old teenage. All right.
I'm not talking about the guy sitting here in this room with you right now.
Moving on.
Moving on.
All right, this is a little bit of a deeper question. If you're trying to convince this alien attached to your hand that humanity isn't trash / demonic, what information would you show it, or what information would you hide from it? Rob?
I mean, there's some obvious stuff that like we do some awful fucking shit to each other as people that are just obvious answers, but I mean, just to keep it in the realm of food, I'm keeping this thing as far away from like factory farming, like information. Like, I don't want this thing to see like what we do to like cows and chickens and pigs. Like, cause it's just like, oh, this is what you guys do. Like, honestly, you guys got it good. You guys are free range as far as we're concerned. Just out there in the
Free
field,
range,
like doing
yeah.
your thing. We just, snatch you up when it's time. So, I mean,
Is it
that
too
could
soon
put some
for me to say
ideas in
black
their
people
head.
too?
What?
Is it too soon for me to say how we treat black people too? Is that too soon?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's
that's what I was gonna
obvious.
say.
There's
When
some
you
very
never-
obvious answers.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
But if there's something I'm going to show it, I don't know, maybe those like dodo videos, like look at this person helping out this like injured animal, this
Playing
hawk
safe.
just sought shelter in a storm in this guy's car and he nursed it back to health. You're like, look, we can care for other creatures too. I'd maybe show him an Impossible Burger, like.
That's you're trying to sway, like, hey, you see, we're good.
Yeah.
You can be like us.
Exactly.
You ain't got a beef like this.
Yeah, I'd be probably vegetarian immediately after that, vegan like all the way. Once I got that guy, that's me. That's what I'm trying to keep from it.
What about you, Ice?
I would show him what's going on right now. I think it would be a kind of conversation of both. Like, hey, because of this bullshit that's going on, look at the amount of people that's coming together to fight. And these humans that you think are so bad, when we get together and fight against fucking injustices, we can really do something. And then I show them like all the change that we made.
I think to just piggyback off that point, I feel like they're going to pick a side, like how they're kind of doing now, right? They're going to be like, well, there are some good ones, but I like the evil ones, and I'm going to do what the fuck they do. So that's why we'd be afraid to kind of show them that, because that could flip it and go the wrong way, and it could be a problem at that point. We're like, y'all need to be slaughtered. Actually, you guys need to be cut down because y'all some terrible people for what y'all do to people. What about you, Brennan?
I would start with the definition of the word of altruism and say, like, we not only came up with this word, but display it and find even other creatures doing it and reward and celebrate it. So, I mean, I think Ice made a really good point in saying that I would present human beings as a very complex creature that is neither good nor bad.
Yeah.
But it possesses the equal ability to be both, thus having the right to survive if balance is able to be found. So I would do my best to have the parasite be on the side of saying, like, humans have this potential to be amazingly good for everything and everyone around them if they're nurtured the right way. And so, like, I would start going into the nature versus nurture argument of what makes a human. A human is that, like they were talking about in the episode, is saying all the creatures on Earth have a directive, like to survive or to reproduce or to whatever. And I would say that humans have a directive as well as to survive and reproduce and populate. But at the same time, you'll notice that humans do much more. And that much more can be good and can be bad. And we're not truly given a directive in that sense. So I would say that like our directive is self-imposed, but it's a lot of it is nature versus nurture, 51-49. And say like, if you look at this nurture side of it, really start focusing on that, you'll realize that's where the human potential really can be found. Because then it's like, well, that if the parasite starts asking questions, I'm like, okay, well, you can look at people that dedicated all of us have only a very small amount of time on this planet and we're aware of it. And if you look at, there's a lot of people in history that dedicated that time simply to help other people, or simply to help the environment, or simply to make things cleaner or better, or whatever that is. There's a lot of countless, people that documented doing that, and they're like, "Wow, that's incredible." But okay, but let me also show you who Hitler was. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me also show you these other people who committed to being evil. But you look at why. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's arguments going on that you should start to understand is that this nature versus nurture thing says that some of these people were born naturally as sociopaths or psychopaths, but it's such a small percentage. And the rest of them, you can draw a direct line back to how are they raised by other people and teach the concept of hurt people hurt people. So the less we hurt people and the more we support each other, the less that you'll see pain and bad things happening with humans.
Right. And some people are just born chemically unbalanced too. It's just...
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But even still, then you go into the psychiatry side of it and say that you can balance that imbalance.
Okay. All right. That was a good balance of deepening this up. All right. Appreciate it. Have you ever
Your parasite gonna be trying to talk it out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we would have been homies. Like my mom, like, who you talking to? I'm
Your
like,
parasite
my
get into
hand,
the fight
mom.
and be
What?
like, wait. Let's get to the root of this fight before we fight. Like,
You'll be dead by then. But
What are we really talking
Nah,
about?
we would be like strategic. But what's up?
All right, next question. Have you guys ever had, like, there was a lockdown in this situation at this school. Have you guys ever been in a real school lockdown before, Brendan?
But wait, there it is. It's funny. So obviously this is my question. I actually really haven't, but I just wanted to know if you guys had. So like I wrote it, like I remember doing the lockdown drills. I remember when September 11th happened. You know what I'm saying? That was a lockdown for some reason. So I remember like when some students would like commit suicide while we were in school and they say it over the PA.
Damn.
I mean, they would, that happened when I was in school. Like one of my friends actually committed suicide and they didn't tell us that that's what happened. So I didn't find out until years later. They just put over the announcements and said that he passed in his sleep, to hide the shame or whatever, but he did. And I knew him and it was really
what
sad.
did he do to himself?
I still don't know that, but I do know that because I was his friend afterwards, we got to go to his house and he had in his yearbook, he had written, he pretty much had written a description of every person in the school in the yearbook next to the picture and how he felt about him. Like was Xing them out or like circling them and starring them. Oh man, I was so happy when he got to my page and it was like all stars and happy faces and like one of the best people ever. And I was just like,
Brendan's ego was like,
Yeah, I know his ego stroke.
no, because he was cool. Like, I was
I'm
really cool with him.
great.
Well, I mean, the thing is, he was a young black man, but he displayed a lot of tendencies towards being homosexual, and he got made a lot of fun of for that. And I never made fun of him for that. And I didn't have a full understanding of what that was back then. But,
Right.
Yeah.
For me, I actually did in college. Right after, I think it was probably a year and a half or so after Virginia Tech happened. And I was at Cal State Dominguez Hills, Cal State Dominguez University out here in Carson. And we were in class, and somebody was like, all of a sudden, some girl got a text and said, somebody's outside with a shotgun, with a rifle.
Oh my God.
And especially after Virginia Tech happened, the fucking panic that everybody had. They locked all classes. We cut the news on. People were following stuff on their phone. What was happening? Freaking the fuck out. That was when I was like, I should have had a gun on me. That's when I was like, I should have had my gun license at this point in time.
Do you have it now?
I'm in the process of getting it. And so we were freaking out. I'm texting like my dad, my mom, my brother. I was just like, man, I don't know what's gonna happen. This is crazy. This is scary. So I'm just letting you know. It's all over the fucking news.
Jesus.
And then we find out that it was a kid, I guess that might have been a little slow, and he was I guess the ROTC, and he had a wooden rifle. But they didn't know because it looked like a real rifle.
Yeah.
So they got him down. They made sure they like, hey, put the gun down. They got everything situated. But it ended up being a wooden rifle, but they locked the fucking school down for, I would say, a good
I have a question.
maybe hour and a half, 2 hours.
How melanated was this person with a fake gun?
Melanin deficient.
Cool. Just curious because I'm like, this story could have ended very differently.
He might have been. He's either Hispanic or white or Hispanic that can pass for white.
Okay.
Yeah. Anybody else?
No, just like Brennan, I remember the drills like after Columbine, like it was a regular thing. You know, just every once in a while we'd have like we did have lots of bomb scares, like bomb threats. We just have to go down to the gym and just like it's one of those things you talk about it. It was so commonplace, like I just didn't even think about it anymore. It's just like, okay, time to go to the gym, hang out for like 20 minutes and then just go back to class. Nothing as serious as that. I think I remember one time when I was at Syracuse, there had been some shootings, not on campus, but like a few blocks away. And I remember we got like, updates through our text, but it wasn't a campus lockdown. But yeah, no, just the regular old drills and, elementary school, junior high, that stuff.
What school was it?
Syracuse?
No.
Oh, elementary? Yeah.
I love it. Go ahead, Ice.
We didn't have really lockdowns. I went to the schools I went to in St. Louis weren't the greatest schools. I went to one of the like worst junior high schools, and worse I mean like a lot of like bad activity happened there. So we had like lockdowns because a lot of the people I went to school with were either like up next to be one of the biggest drug dealers in our area, or they was connected to those people. So a lot of the times they would use their kids, either their younger brother or sometimes their sons, to push drugs through the school. So then we would have lockdowns where dogs would come do drug searches of people's lockers and stuff. But
we had that too.
yeah, I mean
Did you have that?
that's pretty much it. That's about as much of a lockdown. Because I remember one time it was like this kid, he was pushing weight through his brother. And it was like this big thing because he was like pushing the teachers and shit. And they like locked the whole school down, bring the dogs out to check the lockers, and sure enough, he had like pounds in his locker. So yeah, but that's pretty much.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just real quick to wrap this up. I mean, I went to also HBCU, to a black college, and there was a few shootings on campus, and nobody gave a fuck. Like that was the scary part about it. Like I was there when Virginia Tech actually happened, and shootings on campus, it was just like like most black schools are kind of like HBCUs are surrounded by.
And God has spoken.
Most HBCUs are surrounded actually by like the hood or whatever like that.
Yeah.
So that's what they had it like it was normal. It was scary and fucking insane. So next question. She's kind of this show actually kind of has some similar vibes here, man. So far, it's early, first few episodes. Do you think this show is kind of like retreading some kind of Tokyo Ghoul feels a little bit? Like, Rob, what do you feel?
Yeah, I definitely think so. It's early, but like you have, at least so far, like, kind of timid, mild-mannered kid gets wrapped up into a world that it's like you pull the curtain back. It turns out there's all these other people kind of blending in with society that only he knows about, and they all have these like kind of blade powers that come out of them. It's and maybe these are just kind of tropes, you see with anime, like a lot of some of the other things we see on like, action oriented animes that kind of follow the same path. We watch like, Blades of the Immortal versus Samurai Champloo. There were some similarities there. I wonder if like with horror anime, if this is sort of like this happens a lot where like main character merges with some sort of monster thing, becomes something else, and now has to like basically fight them from the inside, to be like, humans are worth saving, right? Like that seems to be a similar fight. That being said, so far, I like the main character from this show much more than the main character from Tokyo Ghoul, who was a stone cold moron multiple times.
Yeah, multiple times. I mean, you're the Tokyo Ghoul guy here, Ice. You're a fan.
Ghoul guy.
I mean, it's in your top 5. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I can see the similarities, especially when the actual blades come out. They do resemble the weapons and stuff from Tokyo Ghoul.
Yeah.
So I definitely can see it. I think I can see the comparisons for sure. I think where Tokyo Ghoul kind of differs is they're actually ghouls that get along and have a society versus the parasites. They're pretty much, I know we talked about this last week, it's on site. We're like almost all of the parasites outside of A and Mrs.
Ryoko.
Yeah, Mrs. Ryoko. Outside
have sex.
Yeah.
Outside of that, it's like it's on site versus Tokyo Ghoul. They really have like the good guys, the bad guys, and then some motherfuckers in between.
Yeah, this almost feels like the early days of like the Tokyo Ghoul world, where like ghouls were just starting to like pop
Figure it
up,
out.
and
Yeah.
like those murders were just starting to happen, and like they're still trying to figure out how the society works.
And I think that's it. When you talk about troops, I think that's trope. Throughout animes, I feel like that's a big one. It's like not necessarily a bad guy, but a bad guy that can infect another person and turn them, just like Demon Slayer. Like demons can turn people into demons. Like that was one of the main things. Like, oh fuck, not only do you have to worry about fighting the demons, but we also have to worry about them turning other people into demons. So I think that's a thing that's like, not only is this enemy bad, but they can turn you into the enemy.
How about you, Brandon?
Yeah, what they said. I mean, honestly, like,
Yeah.
Rob just hit the nail on the head. Tokyo Ghoul, the early stages, because it's like there isn't an established society. They haven't figured out how to integrate because like one of the things that was said in this episode was the directive was to devour the species, and that's a little bit different than Tokyo Ghoul because they're like their directive is to survive, but they only can survive by eating humans, not devouring the species.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, this kind of feels. If I was to say another anime this reminds me of that's really a little bit far-fetched, but the same kind of thing would actually be the Dragon Ball series, is because they would send Saiyans to a planet to eradicate that planet, and so they could set it up for sale. So that's what this feels like to me thus far, is like they send their messengers to whatever the planet or whatever they are, and just like, hey, just kill everything, take it over. And
But the Saiyans knew what was going on. I feel like these parasites.
Goku didn't. That's what I'm saying. Like when Goku would sit there as a child, he sat there as a little baby with a directive they put in his head to kill everyone. You know what I'm saying? As soon as a moon pops up, kill him. Like if you watch Dragon Ball, like Goku wasn't like
I didn't
super.
think it's put in a pop up and just kill. I think it's like once the moon hits, you're gonna spaz out.
You're gonna spaz out anyway.
Yeah, I
You're
know,
gonna
but they
destroy it
still,
anyway.
but they
Yeah.
talk about that. That was a directive that he had. It's like before he hit his head with Grandpa Gohan, he was a violent little motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like he was trying to kill things anyway.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, and then he turns to the gorilla and he's supposed to kill everything on the planet eventually. But that's the same thing as this. Is like they do it differently. Like, okay, let's just spatter them across the whole world, and y'all just go kill everything. You know, so for me, that's one of the connection lines I drew, is that like, okay, maybe they're getting the planet ready for an invasion, you know, or something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
I
got
didn't even
that.
think about that.
I'm gonna piggyback off that. We can go to the next question, but it's a piggyback off Rob's question.
Now you got 40 seconds. You ain't got nothing to say?
No, I mean, I agree. I think it's definitely when even when he shot me the question, I was just like, oh shit, that makes perfect sense. That is very similar. But yeah, let's go over to the next question, which is a kind of a piggyback off it. Who is better, Shinichi or Kaneki? So I know for me, just out the gate, I like Kaneki was a bitch. Like it was like him and Senji are the two that we've seen here. Some of the two of the biggest whiny bitches that we've seen on this in this anime. I feel like Synergy, right?
Synergy? Yeah.
Synergy.
Synergy.
He I feel like he adjusted well. He didn't, at least, I mean, maybe I don't know. I'm watching the dub version, so it might be different. I don't know. But he wasn't as fucking whiny for like 4 episodes. His whininess was kind of like very quick, and it was moments. He had moments where he was just like, all right, this is kind of crazy, but I'm here. So I would definitely pick him, at least for these first 4 episodes. I can't say how it's going to end because it might end trash. Because at the end of Tokyo Ghoul season 1, he turned the fuck up. Like he turned it all the way up, and I was like, okay, this is where we at. Season 2 could be fire. So what do you guys think, Brendan?
I'm gonna give it to, at the moment, I mean, we're only 4 episodes in, so it's hard
to go off the first 4
yeah,
of both.
just the
both
first
shows.
4. I
Yeah.
like this character more for sure. I mean,
Not who you like better, who would win in a fight.
this
No,
character-
I'm saying who you like better as a
Oh, I thought you said who would win.
in a fight. No, I didn't say who would
It'd
win.
be the same answer at the moment because, like, my man doesn't need to know how to fight. The Parasyte does it, and the Parasyte has been proven to be extremely lethal.
Not even just that. The Parasite knows how to fight, but then he's also tapped into where he can still do some things while the Parasite's going to work.
Yeah, so it's like,
Kaneki,
for
I don't
me,
know if he was doing that.
The big difference here is that, you know, he stabbed the guy like on the first try. The first time he was asked to do something, really,
Got it done.
he pulled up and he stabbed my man in the heart and gave him a fatal wound. First time he was tested. Now, was he feeling good about it? No. Would I be feeling good about it? No. Would I do it? I'd hope so. Because if not, he's dead. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, that's an easy answer for me. Because he isn't eager to be in this world, but he's adjusting to it pretty reasonably for a teenager, I'd say.
What about you, Ice? I mean, like I said, this is, I guess, both. So who would you pick, and then who will win?
I feel I like Shinichi better because I like his progression of trying to figure it out, and I feel like it's plausible because he's like, okay, what the fuck is this? And him trying to kill his hand and then developing stuff and like, okay, this is what I got to do. I like that, and he's about it. Kaneki is like a little hoe until the end, but first 4 episodes in, if they got into a fight, Kaneki will mop the floor with him just because he just has a better weapon. Like,
Weapon was a beast. It was.
Yeah, like
was.
he would mop the floor with it, and it's a distance weapon. Like his parasite can move a little bit, but not like Kaneki's. I forgot what his thing called, but whatever it is, like his weapons is not even close. Like if they got into a fight, he would mop the floor with him. And the part of that, he's part ghoul, so like that blow that he did to the parasite and killed him, that wouldn't have killed Kaneki.
Yeah,
Kaneki
that's
just
true.
would have looked at it like, oh, that's nice, and then fucked him up.
Yeah, I think I could see that. I can see his weapon just being his weapon is more of just like an actual motherfucking beast,
Yeah.
like just trying to slaughter you.
Yeah.
What about you, Rob?
Yeah. I would say so far I like Shinichi better as a character. He's easier to watch because of all the things you guys said. Even before he stabs that dude, when Migi is telling him to run from that dude, he's like, no, I'm going to lure him away from everybody else. I'm going to confront this dude. Like, he's immediately about, like, I have to save people. That being said, I feel like Kaneki's journey was a little bit more believable to me, is that, like, Shinichi adjusted so fast. Like, he went from, like, oh, he's just like a dude that's afraid of bugs to, like, turning around and telling people on the street, like, I will fucking eat you alive, dude. Like, that. And I'm like, all right, I mean, I can definitely see the change. So there were moments where I was just like, I felt like he changed a little bit too much, too fast. That being said, I don't know. I was kind of like, I don't know, Kaneki or Shinichi, I think would win this fight, but I think even in this first 4 episodes, I think I would give it to Kaneki because in the first 4 episodes of Tokyo Ghoul, like Kaneki's power is more akin to like a Gohan, a Uzaru Gohan or an Uzaru Goku that has lost their mind. Like when he turns up, he's like, he's all the way. He's out of fucking control. And he kind of gets back there by the end of that season. But he can't, his power is too raw. So we'll see, where these two people end up. I mean, like you mentioned, in the opening like thing, you kind of see he turns into, I don't know, some dude who looks like
I fucking hate
like DA. Like this guy looks like he's gonna
pissed
like
me off because I was looking and then I started putting it together. I'm like, oh my god, that's him.
I hit skip intro on Netflix.
skip intro, and it takes me right to that frame.
It takes you right to that frame.
Oh, it didn't know mine.
Yeah, it goes to it, and he's just there, like with the fucking Mimiki, with Minnie, whatever his name is, and then just like
he
looks
okay,
hair slicked back like Phoenix
Totally
Wright or
different.
some shit.
It does. Yeah, it does take you there. My bad.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
that pissed me off.
Fucking anime intros, man. I hate
They're
them.
so trash. And they do it. It's consistent. You want to talk about tropes? Like, that's a fucking trope that's
Every single
consistent. Let's give the whole show away. And then the parts that's even worse is they update the show and update the fucking trailer to give it away again.
The new season, they're like,
That's
and here's all the
ridiculous.
news spoilers.
Try to Easter egg you, I think, in there. So next question. In there, the parents are pretty much saying, like we talked about earlier, about like, oh, let's just go on a trip without our son. Are y'all taking a trip without y'all kids? Nice.
Man, you don't ask my questions anymore at all, do you?
Brendan, what the fuck are you talking about? I literally asked your question.
Which one?
I asked a lockdown school. What are you talking about?
You said you had like 2 of your questions. The parasite question too.
I just see he never scrolls down to
The
mine.
second one.
Look, I want to feel some type of way, sir.
Brendan wants attention so bad.
God
What
damn.
about my question?
Yeah, I want attention. Where's my attention?
I go out of order normally 1 apiece. Then out of order. Don't start the clock yet,
start.
motherfucker.
Just say
I'm ready. Then 2 apiece. Then 2s. Then 3s. Depending
Whatever.
on how much questions I ask. Man,
Cool,
Ice,
cool, cool.
answer your damn question, man. This is
Yeah. Not at this age. At this age,
Yeah, he's-
like when Icy is 10, I want him to explore the world, and I want to go places with him, and I would take him at this point.
How old is he?
10.
He's 10?
Dude's about to be 11 this year. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I apologize. How old is our main character in this
Oh,
show?
he's like a senior in high school.
No, he's like
Yeah, he's
18.
older,
He's like
16,
17, 18.
He's like
Okay.
17.
Yeah.
17, 18. You can do whatever the fuck you want to come. You can come, but I'm not. I don't feel bad at that age. At my kid's age right now, I would feel bad taking all these trips without him because these are the experiences that he can experience and grow up with. Now, 18, 17, you can come if you want to, but I would.
you're paying your own way. You got a job, boy.
Yeah, I wouldn't have no issue. I wouldn't feel bad about leaving his ass.
It's funny when you were Brendan was like, "Hi, the main character is 10 years old," and in anime, I was gonna be like, "What are you talking about?" But then in anime, these
14,
grown, these
15.
kids be looking like
Remember Kuwabara from Yu Yu Hakusho?
Kuwabara looks
Yeah.
like he's 30.
Yeah, he
ridiculous,
does.
man. What about you, Rob?
Yeah, I kind of want to echo what I said. I think there's, even back to like talking about, privacy for your kids. I feel like there's a certain age, like, of course you take your kids. Maybe if it's like, you're getting out of town for the night for like an anniversary or something. You don't bring the kid along for that, obviously.
Right.
Stuff like that. Leave him with your
This how
grandma.
you was made.
I definitely take the kid along for the most part. Maybe if they're in like high school age, I could be like, all right, like you and your mom, me and your mom are trying to get out of town for a little while. Like you're cool, right? Like
Right.
just you can have a party, just like keep it chill. Like be responsible. Yeah.
Brennan?
I don't know, because I just remember, I don't know. It's a really different question when you have one child versus
Sure.
having multiple. So like I had a twin brother and an older sister. I never had the feeling of being left home alone. You know what I'm saying?
Got it.
Like there was always somebody else there for me. So it's hard for me to even imagine, be like, yeah, when you're like 17, would you be left home alone? Like I know myself at 17, like I would probably have children. You know what I'm saying? Or if I wanted, actually no, I had no self-confidence and I would have nothing. I would try to have.
Were you balding yet?
Huh?
Were you balding yet?
Remember he said he bought it like earlier in 19.
Like
Oh, yeah.
19, 20.
Oh, okay. So
Think
you
so.
you still had hair then?
Yeah, I still had hair. I look different. I look very different with hair. I
saw
actually
the
look
picture.
older with hair
He does.
than I do now.
Yeah, I saw the picture.
Yeah.
It makes your chin look longer.
I don't even know how to respond to that.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't even know that
what
was
do
a
you
shot
say
or
to
not.
that,
I don't know that
man?
was a shot, but I feel
yeah,
like
what
it
was that? Like,
I
what
feel
do
like
you
it was an honest opinion, but it was like covered by a shot, like
Yeah.
camouflaged by a shot at the same time.
I don't even know what to do with that. But what I would say is that I feel like what my parents did a really good job of is when they raised us, they did a really good job of giving us freedom as we got older. And so like when we were younger, like super strict. And then as I got, especially through the teenage years, they would just give us freedoms and let us do things more. So I do remember them leaving us as a group at the house more. It might have been because my sister is the most responsible human being on the planet, acting like an adult when she was like 5. But, and by the time she left, she's only 2 years older than me. I was already 17, 18 anyway. And so our parents would leave us. But they never did some shit like leave for a week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that'd
like,
be a long time.
They're like, we're going out to dinner tonight or something
Sure.
like that. But I don't think I'd leave my of age child in the house for a week. No.
Too long.
It just seems like liability. That's all I can see. It's like, if anything happens, it's my fault. And do I trust a 17-year-old kid with my property?
Fair.
No. I don't care who that kid is. My kid, whoever's kid, you can have a day at most.
You know what? Yeah, I think I would, because my parents left us at home early because they had to work and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
we were like around 8, 7 years old. We were like in the house by ourselves for like hours. I just feel like it might depend on the child and the age. So like if I know my child's pretty responsible, a week is just out of the fucking question. But like maybe 2 days. If I'm like, my kid's pretty responsible and stuff like that, or hopefully like they're even like if they're like not hopefully, but like if they are like a super nerd where they're just like, I just love reading in books anyways,
Yeah.
then I'd be like, oh, cool, he's gonna be reading, playing video games all day. I'm not necessarily tripping on that. But if I know I got a kid that I'm like, every time I you had a girl in the house again without us knowing? Oh, hell nah. I'm going to bring somebody over there personally that I know is a strict person to be in
watch
there just cock blocking on purpose.
So if we touring or something, say Bonfire Stories has go on a tour, what you gonna bring somebody over there to watch them?
It depends on the age. Yeah, if I had like a 4-year-old, if my lady's not staying at home because, since she's a writer or whatever like that, like she might be at the crib more. Then I would have to oh shit, because who would I trust? Because
Yeah, that's the other question,
You'll be out
too.
here touching and raising.
Exactly.
I don't know what to do. I can't go nowhere.
You can't win.
Oh, that's time.
All right. It's another question real quick.
Can
This
you
is-
ask Brendan's question, please?
Yeah,
So he can
that's what I
stop
was
crying.
getting to. Just-
Thank
I
you
just
so
wanna-
much.
We'll circle back to one of
So
the
he
other
can
questions
stop
already
fucking
asked.
crying.
Crazy.
Actually, just rattle off the rest of his questions so he can shut the fuck up.
Hi, Ice. How are you today?
I'm feeling
Oh
sensational.
gosh, what about me? Okay, as a child, have you ever had to keep an adult type of secret, Brennan?
Actually, for me, it's funny is that I couldn't think of anything.
You just be trying to get shit out of us.
yeah.
Which is fair. I mean, I get that.
No, but the thing is,
Yeah.
I thought I'm asking questions that I think will be interesting conversations.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I didn't really have that. But at the same time, like I told you, I grew up with a twin brother and an older sister. I was the baby by 2 minutes. So it was like, for me, I got to live in a bubble. Me and my brother lived in this like kid bubble our whole lives where we just got to do whatever we wanted to do when it comes to like, all right, we've arrived to a new place. Brennan allows to go play. And that's what we would do.
Is your sister older or younger?
Older.
2 years older.
Oh, 2 years old.
Yeah, and my sister was always in the adult world. So she'd go sit with the adults and like she would know all the adult secrets. If I asked her this question, she'd be like, oh my God, she knew everything. Like for me, I'm still learning shit that
That's what
My sister
always
knew.
happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still learning stuff. Like, wait, what?
Those
They were
family
doing what?
secrets be fucking you up.
Oh yeah.
Those family secrets be on another. You are full of shit. Those family secrets be on another level.
No, I mean, so for me, like, I found out a family secret recently, but I didn't know it as a kid. That was pretty crazy. Is that my great grandfather had a child by his secretary, who is technically my great uncle. Yeah, no, my uncle.
What?
So my great grandfather, so my grandmother's father, was the first real estate broker in Flint, black real estate broker in Flint, and he had a secretary, and that secretary had a child that was his. Is what I'm saying.
That generation was known
They-
for
they
having
would-
whole families
whole
down the
families.
street.
Whole families, yes. That's
so-
a lot of my family secret is like, you know why he called him uncle, right? But you never thought of who his dad was? You'd be
Yeah.
like, wait, what? Oh, shit. You'd be like, what the fuck?
You know, it's funny for me personally. I've had to. My brother, I know my brother for a fact since he's older than me, like a year and a half or so older than me. He's had to keep a lot more than I have. But there's so much shit that has went down just in our household that my brother and I had to keep a secret that we have probably. I mean, I say some of it on stage. Especially if you've been to bonfire stories,
man.
you might hear
Yeah.
it now.
Yeah.
But like for the longest, that shit was embarrassing. That shit was there was no jokes in that. That was all a dark time for me. But all people would see, they always see like Keenan's this kid that smiles and laughs all the time. It's like you had the easiest life in the world. I was like, oh, you think? So
Only thing I can say about Keenan, as I say about anyone who was raised in California, specifically Southern California, is you were spoiled by weather, and you cannot argue with that.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, absolutely. When you're getting abused in great weather, it takes all the difference away. No problem.
I didn't say anything about the abuse. I didn't say anything about that. I said you got spoiled, but you could drive to the beach and cry. You know what I'm saying?
okay. At
for me, it's
7
just
years
like
old,
I got
I'm
snow.
gonna take the bus from fucking to the beach.
Snow
To the
bank.
beach.
Take a bus to the beach, bro. Like, get your feelings
That
out.
was
Yell
like
at the
the
ocean.
most-
Tears are freezing mid-face. Meanwhile, up in Flint.
Yeah, it's like out in,
Oh my
in
God.
Flint, Michigan, bro.
Brendan,
Like,
that
it
was the most tone deaf shit I've ever heard.
Hilarious.
It wasn't really. That's one thing I always, because the thing is, it's literally talking about weather. So it's just like, yeah, like everybody has a different experience. But one thing I'm always like jealous of is people who grew up in Southern California is like, you don't really know cold. And that was one of the most horrible
I don't
things
care
ever.
to know it.
Huh?
I don't.
Cold.
I
And
don't
you
care
shouldn't.
to know
You
it.
shouldn't care to know
a
it.
bitch.
I don't recommend it. It sucks.
All right, Rob. What about you, man?
I kind of like Brennan. I feel like, especially because I was an only child, it was like there was the adult stuff and then there was me, and I lived in that bubble that like my parents they were like, they told me stuff sometimes, but usually by the time they told me, it was like, it was out there. Then again, when I turned older, like I got to college age, then stuff started like, oh shit, kind of like Ice was saying, like, oh, now I'm finding out stuff. I'm like, oh, that's why. Oh,
yeah,
my cousin
yeah.
did that. Like, oh, that's why you didn't want me hanging out with them. Like, so it never as a child. Like the family secret stuff didn't start coming out until college age, probably.
Yeah.
I definitely lived in a bubble for a long time.
Yeah, just to piggyback, cause we can go. This is technically the next question, but it kind of goes. Oh, my bad, Ice. My bad, Ice.
Wait, what?
Go ahead. I thought Ice answered. My bad, bro. Go ahead. My bad.
He got a minute and a half left. All right, fuck it. Let's
I ain't
keep
say
going.
nobody.
I was like, why is time so long? All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I think I had some stuff. It was just more so of me putting stuff together at a young age, but I just kept it to myself. Then I asked my mom when I was when I was older. It's like, hey, mom, like, because growing up, my mom and my dad never lived together. And I was just like, hey, mom, like, why the fuck did you guys never live together my entire life? He's like, well, actually, your dad, It's like, oh, okay, but you see stuff as a kid, but you just don't put it together. And I think it's just one of those things too, is like you don't hang with certain people and it's like, hey, why did this cousin come around and then all of a sudden fucking disappear?
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
like that was my dog. Like what happened to him? Oh, actually
His mother
parent-
did this.
like,
It's always it always goes back. It's like, yo, I had that happen with my cousins too. Like my favorite
and they be
cousins.
your dogs.
Yeah.
And then just one day without
Gone.
warning, they just fucking disappear.
Gone.
It might be the movie Soul Food. Remember?
Oh,
Soul
yeah,
Food
yeah,
when
yeah.
he was eating the smashing the cousin.
Yeah.
he was married. Oh,
And it's just like what? And then
Yeah.
that was
I forgot about that.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
had to. He had to go there.
Yeah.
So this kind of goes like this. I guess it's a two-parter. I guess in that. Is there anybody if this happened to you, this particular situation happened to you, what kind of he's saying, do you trust anybody in the world who you can tell this to be like, yo, I need to tell you this because this shit is crazy. So if something happens, this is what's going on. For me personally, it's definitely my brother, my older brother. I feel like we tell each other for the most part everything that at least that I can think of, and I'm not afraid. There's nothing that I have that I won't tell him. I feel like if this thing happens, I'm like, Corey, yo, man, this is the hand, dog.
Yeah.
Yo, I mean, it gives good blowjobs.
I knew you. I knew it was gonna come back.
I had to
Bro.
call him back. I'm a comedian, man. I gotta do a call
so
back.
I
Call
asked
back.
you
Good
this.
call back.
Stop.
Hats off.
Stop. You stop right now. You stop, Ice. No. What were you saying, Keenan? Please continue.
No, fuck
Ice.
that.
No.
Are you giving Corey a blowjob with your hand?
I knew he was
Oh,
gonna say that.
no.
I knew he was gonna say that.
Fuck no.
No, why? Why?
It's at the end of the day. Rob is out of here.
Rob put his
I'm
headphones
engaged. That's the
All right, I'm
thing.
back.
At the end of the day, it's attached to my arm. My private part attached to my arm, I already jerk off. So it's not. It's this. That's different. You
No, how is that any
because
different?
it's my body part.
I don't want to go back to the
No.
Ice zone.
It's not your tongue.
But it's
The same logic that you used for that one, it should apply.
Here's why it's not the same. At the end of the day, I have to reach my arm over to my brother and do that. That's disgusting.
What if you detach it? What if you
reach
can detach it in
would
those
deta-
3 minutes?
If I don't know about it and I'm asleep, my brother's like, hey, come over here real quick. And I'm just knocked out and my arm just attaches itself and does it. Ain't nothing I can do about it at that
Oh,
point.
my
Yeah.
God.
Ain't nothing that I can do. I'm not saying I want it,
my
but ain't nothing I
gosh.
can do at that point.
That
I
is
feel like
sick.
we need to give Keenan a name too.
Brennan's face.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Rob.
What was the original question?
Yeah,
again?
what the hell are we talking
The
about?
question was, because I answered it. I said, this type of secret.
Oh,
like
yeah.
this,
Who
is
would
there
you tell?
anybody
Who would
who
you tell?
do you trust anybody to tell it?
I don't know that I tell anybody this. If it were like the Ghoul situation, I feel like there are maybe some people I could trust with that information, but I don't know that I tell anybody this specifically because I don't know that I trust the parasite that's attached to me. The idea that he could just be fucking listening in and he's just like, if you tell somebody and they become a
Which
liability.
he said that, didn't he?
Yeah, he's like, if you tell your parents, like,
I will fucking kill them.
I will kill them.
Yeah.
So it's less about if I trust them, more about do I trust this thing? And no, I
Plausible
don't.
Now, you know what?
Deniability.
Now I know if that's the case because I forgot about that part. I would definitely tell my worst enemy.
There you go. Yeah.
Let's
Let's bury the hatchet. Yeah, I want to tell you something.
Hold on a second.
So you're a murderer.
No, yeah, thank you. I was
No,
gonna say,
the parasite's a murderer. I'm not a
No,
murderer.
you're a murderer.
But
He
you
legit said,
put
I
them in
don't
the
want to
place
finish
of
the job
harm.
because I don't want to be a murderer.
If the parasite goes, hey man, something might happen. I'm like, oh, let's see what's gonna happen.
You see, you keep using the logic when you want to use it.
Don't get on Keenan's
No.
bad side. Is the
It
goal,
is
is
because you're not a murderer. But at the same time, if you give your brother a blowjob, you're not get like. Which one is it?
Wait,
Either
what?
you,
That-
you
that-
gotta,
that- that
you
doesn't-
gotta
No,
hold
Ice zone.
yourself
Ice
accountable.
zone. Ice zone.
I just answer the question.
You gotta
Right,
hold
it's your-
yourself accountable for all
it's
of the stuff that your hand
You have to
does.
forfeit your question
that,
for your
that
answer.
leap of
Yeah.
No.
Can I?
No.
If you're not gonna answer, go ahead.
What's the question again?
Who would you trust anybody to tell somebody about this?
I would approach it a very specific way. What I would do is have make sure that Miggy understood what trust is. First,
Great. That's
I would say, do
smart.
you understand trust? And I would establish trust with Miggy. And if I felt that I had established that trust and I felt good about it, then I would talk to Miggy and say, I want to tell my brother about this, and here's why. And if Miggy was on board, you know what I'm saying? If Miggy was like, okay, I see the logic, this makes sense, he can help us. Or if Miggy's like, no, don't do it, then I'm not telling him, I'm not telling nobody nothing.
Right.
If Miggy tells me not to do it, like, Miggy's in control here. As we learned in one of those episodes, Miggy was just like, "Oh, by the way, I can sever your like whatever, and I could just run this shit."
Yeah, I'll
So
take your tongue,
I'll
your
take
eyes,
tongue
your
out.
ears, all that shit.
Yeah, I can take all your senses away, and we could be like that. That's what it is. So for me, I personally say that it really depends on how Miggy feels, because that's what my new life is now.
Yeah.
You could
I
write out
think
like
that-
a
I think
note
that's
with your left hand all scrawled,
You
like a
could.
ransom letter or some shit.
But at the same time, like, what if Miggy finds out and kills your brother, kills whoever?
Ice
So
would-
for me,
let Ice wrap it up. It's like about 45 seconds.
Plausible deniability. Nobody's gonna know anything just to keep him safe. Yeah, that's it. And I also want to say that
Here we go.
you gotta hold yourself accountable for what
I
your
knew he
hand
was gonna
does.
bring it back.
Everything that
God
the
damn
hand
it.
does, you are accountable for.
You're at the end of the day, you're a murderer regardless. If that's the case, when it comes to if you're talking about that, you're a murderer. You killed a dog already.
That's fine. But you got to take that.
Not to Peter, it ain't fine. Ask Michael Vick. That motherfucker did 2 years.
Oh,
Still,
All right then.
you still got to take it.
You're at least accessory.
All right. We can do one more question. And this is another Brennan question. We'll wrap it up on his question since he loves himself so much. All right.
what's wrong with self-confidence?
Rob is
My
clapping.
self-esteem balloon is here
All right. This is a interesting question by
because
Brennan.
of why what it came from has made it interesting to me.
Okay.
Do you remember the moment?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Have you ever had a partner do mouth tricks to impress you in public, i.e., tie a cherry stem in their mouth? Brennan.
So first of all, this came from that moment of the threat,
Yeah.
which was crazy
Yeah.
that we didn't even talk about yet. Because like she was just like, yeah, like, you know, we can either be cool or we can have a problem, and puts a metal spoon in her mouth and pulls it out, and it is rolled up. And I saw that,
Food
I was
roll
just
up,
like,
yep.
this is the opposite of any form of turn on. And just for the record, Keenan and Rob, that's what happens when you put your dick in a parasite's mouth. But I digress.
When they hate you.
Just saying, if it can do that to a spoon, you put your most sensitive part. Okay.
Yeah, that shit is gone.
I didn't say I was thinking straight.
Shut up, Rob.
That's the real.
You shut up, Rob.
That's the real mincemeat killer right there.
So the reason that was the two reasons I asked this question was number one, that, and number two, my mom taught me a horrible thing as a kid that I didn't know was a horrible thing until I was older. Is that my mom taught me, my brother, and my sister how to tie a cherry stem in your mouth. She taught us how to do it. And I didn't know that was anything, any way of being suggestive. Because it's like you eat a cherry, just put the whole cherry in your mouth, and then you just like bloop, and it's tied a knot. And so I was just like, I could do this little trick. It's really cool. And I remember like in middle school, I did that, and everybody was like, you're gay. Like, immediately, they were all just like, you are so gay. And I'm like, what? How does this make me gay? Like, I don't get it. Now I'm like, oh.
Poor young Brennan.
I had some
You got
time.
set up.
You know what's funny about that is that all those type of tricks like that always happen in middle school or high school. When I got older, a girl never said, "Yo, I want to show you something with my mouth real quick." Like a girl was like, "I can kind of like unwrap this gum in my mouth without like I think she said either getting the gum wet or doing something. I can like undo it in my mouth." And I was like, "Oh."
Without getting the gum wet?
She did. It was something crazy like that. And I was
She
just
said
like,
I could put a wrapped piece of gum in my mouth and
unwrap the whole piece of gum.
See, that's the kind of parasite I'm talking about.
And it's still intact. Like it's not bent up or nothing like that. Now this is in middle school.
like you mean like a long triangle, like
the long piece. So, I mean, yeah, it was still wet, but it was just like pretty much it won't get bent up at all. So she was able to unwrap it with her tongue, get the whole gum out, and then just take the wrapper out.
Rob and Keenan, this is the type of okay.
That's okay.
So that right
That's
there to
still not
me,
okay.
I bet the Parasite could do that shit too.
I have seen it, and I have. That's absolutely true.
hate you, Rob.
But that's what I'm saying.
Y'all fucking nasty. Y'all gonna be having the Parasite watching YouTube tutorials on how to fucking.
They're already
do that
doing their
shit.
own thing.
The parasite's
they're
gonna be
already
like, parasite's gonna be like, what's a
have you heard of
grapefruit?
grapefruiting?
Parasite's gonna be like, wait, can I get a grapefruit? Like warm water and a
Help
grapefruit.
you with your
Oh
studies.
my god, you gonna be having.
But that's
Cameron,
the
you know
thing.
what grapefruit it is, right? Oh, he knows.
Yeah.
He knows.
But that's the thing. It's like that stuff was happening, and which is kind of crazy. That shit that was happening to me in middle school when I was being told that. So I can't even imagine. Like, have any of you guys?
wow.
I mean, yeah, like you were saying, I feel like it didn't happen like once you get past a certain age, but like it was one of those like dumb tricks that girls did when.
What trick did you get?
It wasn't tying a cherry stem. No, I dated this girl that could. I can't even do it. It like she could like basically inhale and like make her tongue like wave back and forth, like up and down. Or some shit.
I've seen that before.
You've seen that before?
Yeah.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, no, so it was. I mean, like I said, we dated.
This girl.
You mean
did-
like flap like a flag?
Like, yeah, I can't even like I,
do the worm basically with her mouth.
And a girl knew how to twist her whole tongue in a circle like that, just her tongue. Go ahead.
I've seen people do like just tricks with their tongue, but nothing like food related. That whole cherry thing, I only saw that on like TV. I never seen it in real life.
I seen a girl do it in middle
You'll
school,
never
yeah.
see me do it. Tell you that. You'll never see
Do
me
it
do
in front
it.
of a lady. She'd be like, "Okay, brother, you out here with it."
Nah, bruh.
All right.
The wrong person could be looking. I have been traumatized by that. Just like you'll never see me wear sweatpants again. Just certain things traumatize me, and I don't do it no more.
You don't wear. Why don't you wear sweatpants?
Leaving that story for another day.
we got 53 seconds.
I'm sure to
I
come
said
up.
another day.
Okay. So we're gonna get to the ratings now. So this is,
What we talk about our parts, or is that after, or is it right now?
the ratings is your parts.
Okay.
You're gonna give your ratings. You're gonna give your part in the rating.
Okay,
So
for sure.
So this is Ice's pick. So he's gonna go last in this one. I'll go first actually. For me, the first 4 episodes was enjoyable. I enjoyed it. It was it did give me Tokyo Ghoul vibes once Rob kind of brought that up, and I looked at it and I was just like, I hope it doesn't go that route really, because I mean Tokyo Ghoul is a little for me first season anyways. I feel like season 2 will turn the hell up. I only care about Migi, whatever the thing is called, the hand. Migi. That's all I care about. I don't care about the girl that he has a crush on. I don't care about his parents. I don't care about him.
His dad's kind of cool though.
His dad's kind of a dad.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like his dad.
But I still don't necessarily care that much. It's like, episode 5, gotta see his pops going to doing something. Like I don't like even him as a main character. Like I don't. If it's always attached to somebody else, I'll be
You
like,
like the pregnant chick?
That's fine. The pregnant chick?
You like her?
Ryoko?
Yeah. I think she's cool so far, but I still want to see. And
She's about to light them up.
And I guess we're only 4 episodes in, so I'm not going to sit there and get mad where I need to know who the villain exactly is. 'Cause I feel like she's not going to be the main villain.
No.
But as of right now, I would give this a strong 6,000. Give it a strong 6,000. Rob?
Very similar things. It's all right for me so far. I enjoyed these 4 episodes. They were all right. I wasn't over the moon about it, but I didn't hate it either. It definitely got Tokyo Ghoul vibes. Right now, it seems a little bit Monster of the Week sort of thing. We'll see if it starts to get away from that a little
That
bit
was
more.
coined
So he's
during
not
the Demon
just-
Slayer saga. Please continue.
Yeah, just so he's not just like, all right, who's the parasite I got to fight this episode? You know, we'll see if it breaks away from that formula. I hope it does, and hopefully we'll get to a little bit more from these characters because Keenan's right. Like, I didn't mention his girlfriend in this my synopsis much at all because she's not important.
Nobody gave a shit.
Wait, are they
Yeah.
actually together?
They're
They're
holding
dating.
hands. They
They're
went on a
holding
date.
hands.
They went to
Yeah.
the pancake house or whatever.
But they didn't talk
Then
about
she
it.
grabbed the other hand because she felt some weird.
But
Something weird,
they didn't talk about it, huh? But you just calling it that? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, well,
Just-
whatever.
just
That's a
remember-
tricky
just
thing in the
remember another
dating
time.
world nowadays because if you
I'm just saying. Me
just
too
used to
moving out
shorthand.
here.
You go on a
Me
date,
too moving out
I don't
here.
know what
Rob
it is
making
nowadays.
assumptions.
Yeah,
That's all.
there's some Evangelion stuff coming
I'm
back.
not putting any labels on it, all right?
You
I'm just
put a
trying to use the
label
shorthand.
on it. You said this.
They went on a date.
Doesn't mean they're together. Man, he owns her now. They're together.
That's
Nice
not
to know,
what-
Rob.
That's not what I
No,
said.
No, it's
That's
not what I said.
Owning
His
it?
girlfriend? That is not a form of
I would
ownership.
hate to
His?
be talking to you.
All right, they're a couple.
No, this is. I still got
They're
feelings about this
clearly
man.
they're seeing each other.
There you
Yeah.
go. That's how you say it. Good job.
Anyway,
I own you.
so she's just only there to be, a romantic interest at this point. She's not becoming her own character. So I want to see more of that. I hope his mom becomes more of a character because clearly they developed their relationship a little bit in that last episode. She cares about him, protects him. All that to say, yeah, it's all right. We'll see where it's going. I'm at a 58. 5,800.
Brennan.
Very similar vibes. I think Rob and I actually had talked on the phone the other day about this, and I told him I was like, my favorite part of the show by far is the parasite. I
Absolutely.
like that kind of character that's like hyper logical, and just like, wait, what is this emotion for what? Kind of thing. I really like that. I like its learning capabilities. I like how it's able to turn itself into a gun and all that. Keenan made a good point. There isn't much character development outside of that. Outside of the woman, I like her too.
Yeah.
She's very interesting, and like when she was ready to square up, it was just like, oh, we're gonna lose. You know what I'm saying? Like Mickey was like, oh, that's a second variation problem. Like we should run. We're too close. So for me, I'm enjoying it. This is an anime that I haven't found a reason that I wouldn't want to watch yet. I think I might have a little bit of like not scorched earth, but like I don't know what the word is for it, but because of how bad Blade of the Immortal was, maybe I'm enjoying this that much more. But it's funny, actually, the rating you guys gave was the same rating I was going to say. I was going to say 6,000 out of 9,000.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. I like this show. It's pretty cool. I can see the Tokyo Ghoul. I didn't really trip off of it till right now. Kind of like Keenan said, when you said it, I was like, okay. When you started putting it together, I can definitely see it. It's fun. Coming off of Blades of the Immortal, I hopefully I can see this being very action oriented. I think the first 4 episodes of really any anime outside of maybe fucking Demon Slayer is not net breaking. They always have to settle in and like get you acclimated with the characters.
Demon Slayer move fast.
Yeah.
Huh?
I say Demon Slayer moves so fast.
Yeah, like they're fucking net breaking speed. So it's like that's usually they're an anomaly for sure. So I think this is what your run of the mill first 4 episodes looks like to show like, hey, this is what it will look like moving forward. I think there will be more action oriented. Either I hope, because I wasn't a super fan of the fight scenes. I think it was more of a cerebral thing, and it was more so you rooting for Shinichi and hoping that like, okay, you have to take over this fight and help Miniki. Overall, it's cool. 62,000 was I give it?
6,200.
6,200, yeah,
62,000.
2,000. Like,
The
what?
greatest, it's the greatest 4 episodes I've ever seen in my entire life. 62,000, 6,200. Yeah,
That's crazy.
All right, so far, I mean, yeah, I feel like we're even across the board with this as a squad. Tell us what y'all think, man.
What about the exactly
Favorite
what-
and least favorite moments.
Yeah,
okay.
that's what.
Oh yeah, my bad. I did talk about that from last time. My bad. So, it is
Oh,
what it is,
wait, hold
man.
on. We not gonna give him shit?
Yeah, I fucking asked you. I literally
ahead.
asked you before you did it. You said, "Yeah, we're gonna do it when we give it a ratings," and then you didn't do it.
No, you were saying we're gonna talk about our parts. So
I said our favorite parts. I said we're gonna do our favorite parts, right? He's like, "Yeah, we're gonna
He
do
did
it in
say
the
that.
rating."
favorite parts, but
Oh
I didn't.
my
I was thinking about the
God.
favorite parts and the least favorite parts.
So my
I
favorite
apologize.
part,
Jesus.
I had a tie between 2. One of them was the baby was the moment when they were like, "What is this baby?" and really questioning themselves, like, "Yo, like, what are we?"
Yeah.
To be able to look at a baby this way inside of us, like, in that we eat each other, like, what are we? I think it's really interesting to see a species question itself, because we normally don't see that. Like, humans do that, but you don't see anything else normally do that. Even in anime, you know what I'm saying? Like, you normally don't see. It's like, what is my purpose? What am I here? What am I? I also really like the relationship between obviously Miggy and his kid. Like, I think that's pretty dope. Those are my 2 favorite parts. And my least favorite part was the ridiculous privilege of the woman with the baby when her mama came in the house. And so for me, when I watched it, I mistakenly called it white privilege, but just privilege in general and stupidity of saying, "Oh, you're not my daughter. I'm going to call the police." Like, you think nothing's going to happen between you getting to the phone, dialing the number, saying that you need the police, and then the police arriving? How stupid and illogical is that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. That was like the dumbest moment of the show. It's because it's just like, if you're the mom and you notice that shit,
You
and
gotta
she
keep it
says
to
she's about to
yourself.
leave anyway.
Yeah, I'm about to call the police. Where's your phone?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, it's more so like, she's like, "I'm about to leave." She looks at her and is like, "What?" I'd be like, "Nothing.
Yeah.
I'll see you when you get back." And then I call the police when she leaves.
I think that's and we're gonna get to everybody's right now, but I think that's just a street smart thing and not a street smart thing.
Yeah.
I think as a parent, you're going in to help my child mode or to do something because this is my child. Something's not right. I gotta solve this issue right now. So I wouldn't say I get why you would say it was the dumbest thing,
Super
but
dumb.
I don't think it was just because I know how some parents might act that way. My favorite moment was I guess it might even be a small moment to you guys, but pretty much when in the school when he was saying like let's just use everybody as a human shield, and he was kind of like, no, like I think he was teaching the Parasite a little bit of humanity right there.
Yeah.
Like, bro, like I just can't. I know you want to go to work and do what you got to do, but like so many people are my friends. Like these are human. I just can't go around killing random human lives for like no reason.
Yeah.
Like if somebody's attacking us, even if they're attacking us, when he stabbed dude, he was like, I can't just have you kill him, man. I can't. I'm not that dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was one of my favorite moments. I guess I can't really say I had like a least favorite moment in this. There were moments of just like whatever to me. So I mean, yeah, I didn't really have a really moment that I hated in this. What about you, Rob?
Favorite moment would probably be I liked that scene when he was on the date with the girl that he's seeing.
Yeah.
And they come across the
Well put, Rob. I'm happy you've learned
Petty
that
Fonda
language,
over here.
That language matters.
But when they
Me
come
too.
across those bullies, fucking around with that cat, and he steps up and saves them, just because, characters I sort of gravitate towards. I kind of do like him as a character because I gravitate towards characters that are mild-mannered, but they have that side. They have that level they can go to, like a Gohan. As long as they have that level,
Yeah.
I can kind of vibe with that character. So for me, that was a moment where I was like, all right, I am interested to see where this guy goes. So I thought that was cool, especially like he just snatched those 3 stones out of this guy. Was just like, I'll fucking kill you.
With his back turned.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. Least favorite moment, I'm kind of with Keenan. I didn't really have a moment that I was like, oh, I hated this. I will say my biggest gross out moment was when it was in the first episode when that like corgi turned its head inside out and like it turned its like brains into like membrane wings or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, this is sick. Like I'm literally nauseous thinking about it. Like it's so gross. So that's my least favorite moment. That monster was gross.
And it died. So.
My favorite moment was actually your least favorite moment. I think that was dope. I don't know if it's a parent thing, but like she knew like something is wrong with you.
No, I like that she knew.
Yeah.
I just don't like how she reacted. It's not. That's what I don't like. I think it was amazing she knew.
Yeah, that's so for me. That was my favorite moment because it was just like you can tell that, and that's real shit. Like you can tell when not even your friends. I think if we came in here with a different energy, if we started doing stuff, you came in here like Ice. I love your legs or something like that. I know you wouldn't say it, but like you say something a compliment, but you genuinely mean it. It'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with Brennan? Like, this isn't Brennan. Or like if somebody, or if Rob just come in here and start saying like, who the fuck, this dumbass motherfucker, look at this bitch over here, Ice. Like, wait, who is this person?
Like prank, because if it's not, whoa, what's happening?
Right. Exactly. He's
Like,
like,
Rob, are you okay?
yeah, like who are these people? So I think
touched you?
it's
Okay.
always dope as it like that she knew. Like it didn't take no time, just how she looked. She's like, hey, turn around real quick. Let me see your eyes. Like, and when she turned around, she's like, oh yeah, I know it. Now she handled it stupid as fuck. Least favorite moment I think for me was the fight with when he pulled the dude away because
Wait, what?
when he pulled they said like, oh, it's too many people around. We need to go and fight the dude.
Yeah, the dude that wanted to merge with Miggy
Yeah,
was
yeah.
just like, oh, you can be my hand.
I feel like that was just kind of lackluster because and me watching, I'm like, oh, he pulling him to the side, he really it's about to
I
be
see
some
that.
shit, but they didn't really get after it, so I was just like, and they had a conversation damn near, like,
Easy chop up.
Yeah.
I can see that. That was kind of it seemed like it was kind of a waste, but maybe to show the strength of his parasite to see like, yo, I'm a beast out here in these streets. Maybe. But yeah, I can see that. That makes sense. So what do you guys think out there, Animation Squad? What is y'all rating from out of a 9,000? What is your favorite and least favorite moment? Let us know in the comment section below, man. All right, give us y'all stuff. Drop your stuff. Go ahead, Ice.
Ice.McGowan on everything.
Rob.
Yeah, RV Danger on Instagram.
Brandon.
At Mr. Producer Vase on Venmo.
And hey, Brad.
Is it really? Is that your real Venmo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At Mr. Producer Vase. I mean, it's my Instagram
You're gonna
too.
get a whole bunch of like requests.
Right.
Like,
Probably.
I mean, y'all can request whatever you want, but I'm just saying.
At the end of the day, if he gets even $1, I'm gonna be like Venmo next week.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'd
shout
appreciate
out!
it.
I want to shout out to some people. They have been like saying like, "Oh, do you guys have a Cash App or somewhere we can give money to? If you guys want to give us money, let us know. We gonna
We'll
set
create a
something up for
Patreon or
y'all.
something.
Yeah. I'm Keenan Baker on every single thing, man. And we thank y'all every week for tuning in to another episode of Animation.
And so anime was solved forever.